here's another example of a branch that is actually weighed down all the way to the ground, just because it has too much fruit on it. So I'm going to go in, cut that off, and do the same thing. Lots and lots of currants. So I'm just going to cut the top off, trim it down a bit, maybe cut it in the middle, pick them up one-handed. I'll be using two hands normally, and then just like shake them off. And that's how I've been harvesting them. Second thing we've been doing is just going over to our rain barrel system. And here I just have a simple setup of some cinder blocks and some sink that I found by the side of the road. And a bucket and an eavesdrop to screw. So pretty simple. And then I just run the water into here, and once it gets, like, the water has to go up and cover the berries, but once it gets to kind of like a, once it fills up enough, I don't know, it's just a feel, you can kind of just swirl the berries around, you know, and they'll come off the stems. They'll do half a job of coming off the stems. But before they go inside, so I'll do this step, and I'll just kind of swish them around and get the stems loose. But then there's a final step I'll do, which I'll show next. I'm not sure if I can really show this final step, but you can see some of them are still really on the stems. What I do is I pick them up with both hands, and I rub them between my hands, basically rolling the currants into it, like basically one layer deep, kind of all holding them about, you know, one layer deep. Not a giant handful, but like, you know, making sure each currant has contact between both hands, and then just rolling them back and forth, you know, in opposite directions. So, you know, left hand goes back, right hand goes forward, and vice versa. And they'll all roll off the stems at that point. So I'm doing this one-handed right now, so I can't show you, but that's the essence of the third step. Fourth step will just be, you know, manual processing inside the kitchen, removing stems. I just had an idea for an additional step. I'm thinking of basically just rolling these down. Oops, some of them are getting in the bowl and some are not. Seeing, like, playing with the angle, seeing if I can get them to basically separate those with stems and those with not. Those without. Big stems, that is. Huh. Interesting. Some success. Lower the burn. Using a really ad hoc system here. This will save me the step of picking out stems, I guess. Good. Not bad. Let's keep going. Definitely some stems behind, which is great. It seems to be catching them. I'm not doing a great job of capturing the camera angle, but there's a few that are getting in there, but it's working for me. Let's keep going. Stems on these ones. Cool. I'm doing a bad job, actually. This one's got a stem in it. Yep, caught these stems. Huh, that's a neat idea. I think I'm going to stick with this. So, I don't know, I've got about a 45. Some are missing the bowl. I'll just use a bigger bucket next time. But yeah, it's doing a pretty good job of getting the big stems out. Some stems are being left behind. Things like that I don't want in. Those ones are just, oh, that one's got a big stem on it, so it's catching that. Cool. All right, I'd say that's a success. Nice. Great. I'm gonna say that's a success. Did a pretty good job.